Hey there, and welcome to the People Who Help People podcast. This is the spot for HR and people ops pros who are all about building better businesses by putting people first. We chat with founders and experts who've been there, done that, and are generous enough to share what actually works. Thanks for listening, and we hope you enjoyed today's episode. Hola. Today I am happy to be speaking with Marisol Marion-Landais, General Director of Sagesse, about delivering people-centered transformations using a project-based approach for organizational culture and human talent development work. Even though I practiced saying that before this podcast, I'm pretty sure I mispronounced part of that. So, Marisol, why don't you tell me how to properly pronounce some of the things that I mispronounced, or tell me more about your company?
You did it great. You did it great, Craig. Okay, my name is Marisol Marion-Landais. You spell it, you pronounce it properly.
Excellent.
And my office in Dominican Republic is Sagesse. That means wisdom. Yeah, you didn't know that.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
And Sagesse is wisdom in Spanish?
yeah. Well, Sagesse is like a French word that the translation is wisdom. In Spanish, is sabiduría.
Wisdom. I like that. I like that you're using a French name for your company to operate in the Dominican Republic. Does that confuse anybody in the Dominican Republic?
Well, you know that we in the Dominican Republic we have too many international names for the companies, and we are used to see to to see a company with an English title or something like that. In this case, it's French, so we just need to educate people how to pronounce it. So yeah, it has been some people say like, okay, how do you pronounce this, and then you show them, and then little by little they learn.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that tripped up a little bit on the mispronunciation. And how long have you been doing work in the Dominican Republic with your
Yeah.
company?
Well, I have been working. This is my company. So yes, this is a project management and strategic management consulting firm. I have been in the market more than almost 20 years, a little bit more than 20 years for now, and and it has been so quite an experience, Craig, because you know that to have a company is not that easy, because people always say, "Wow, it's so easy, and the money will come just by itself," and it's not like that. It's a matter of being resilient, being persistent all the time, and think that you keep working in what you do, focus on what you do, and trying to serve people. Not only for you, it's not a win for me. Just no. It's a win-to-win relationship between the people and you, in and and at the end, in the process, you will be getting the goodwill of people, and they will get to know you, and there will be a time that Sagesse can help me, Marisol can help me, or some of my associates can help, the company. So it has been quite a very interesting journey for me, definitely.
What led you to start your own company, to start Suggest?
Well, I used to work in the telecommunication company located in the Dominican Republic. That was like a kind of a monopoly. But then I just needed to leave the company after 17 years, and I decided, okay, it's time already. I had my kids. I needed a little bit more time, so it got the moment that I definitely decided, okay, I will leave the company. Was what I was going to do. I was going to do what I knew, and what I knew about project management and strategic management. So what I did was to create a company that was such as that was related to project management. Let me tell you, most of the people in the Dominican Republic, they did not know what was project management, and there was a lot of there was a lot of information that I just knew in English. So when I was outside explaining about what was project management. There were a lot of words that I didn't know how to translate it to Spanish because there were so few information about that. But at the end, we adapt.
So I imagine you over those almost 20 years you've had time to train different people in project management. About how many different companies or individuals have you trained in project management?
Well, I don't know the amount, but I have been working in training since 2005. It got to be more than 1,000, 2,000 people that I have been training all over, different, because we don't only do training. We do training, but we also do outsourcing. Outsourcing project management. We do also consulting, and I have been, I have been working. I think that I have worked with most of the biggest or medium company from the Dominican Republic.
So you've trained a lot of people in project management, many of the medium and large companies in Dominican Republic. What is the split in your business between training, outsourcing, consulting, and maybe other services?
Like the percentage of
Yeah,
each
yeah,
line.
sure. Just
I believe that Yeah, I believe that most of my um, my business is maybe a 60% training and 40% projects. And when I say projects, it's about outsourcing project management or a strategic management plan or assessment, project management assessment or organizational culture assessment, different kind of different kind of projects. The nice thing of my job is because you can I have been working with, for example, technology companies. I have worked with financing in the finance industry. I have worked with the academy. I have worked with mining projects. So it's kind of very pretty. It's a pretty business because you get to see so many different industry at the same time. What are we, Craig? We are facilitator of the processes. So it's a nice thing to be able to learn from other businesses and to help them to transform and to evolve in better companies, in better organizations.
I really like that analogy. When I first started out in business, I was a trainer as well. And something clicked when I adopted the word facilitator as opposed to trainer, because training sounds like I'm just delivering, you're just receiving. Facilitating is no, we're facilitating your growth. This just happens to be the topic we're covering today. And in your case, you facilitate tremendous growth, I'm sure, in the area of project management in a country and in a market that maybe wasn't as mature, but I'm sure with your help has matured a lot through the years. Is there a particular project or a particular company that comes to mind where you feel like really made a difference there? I really helped them transform.
You know that I believe that, for example, there was one project in the academy that we work in the one of the universities, and well, I still keep working with different universities from Dominican Republic, and eh, it's pretty interesting because the universities are the one who are supposed to change people, to change mindsets, and to transform people. And sometimes, in general, you can see that they have all the resources to that, but sometimes their processes needs to be improved. So it's nice to see how they are open also to keep improving all the time, to keep improving in order to be the example for the rest of the students. I like academy, but I think that in general, Craig, I think that transformation in every company is just it's passionate to do that because in every company it doesn't matter if you are a big company, a medium company, or a small company. In every company that you are able to transform yourself, And the fact, Craig, that you are in the business today and in 20 years you are still there and you and people are still looking for you, it means that you have been able to make that switch. Okay, I know something now, I do it now, but then in 5 years I need to keep changing and I need to keep improving my business in order to be sustainable during the time. And that is the pretty of this business, transforming people, helping people to get to that. I don't know, I'm a bit passionate of that.
I like your passion. And it's obvious to me that instead of a particular project, what stands out to you is the impact that you've made in people's lives and or their business careers, as well as transformations that they were going through at the time. So much so, I heard you say, they remember you and they bring you back for, we have another period of change, another transformation that we're working through. So I think that fits well with our topic today, which is delivering people centered transformation. Change all by itself doesn't happen, it happens with and through the people we work with. And it sounds like your projects based approach for organizational culture and human talent development work has found a willing audience. So tell me more
In
about
the,
a projects based approach to transformation.
okay. Let me begin with the most important issue. In fact, I have a workshop, a free workshop next week that it talks about transformation. I always say my students that imagine that I am not an engineer, right? So I don't know how to build something, to build a house. But since I'm so disciplined, I go to YouTube and I learn, how to build something. And I ask them, would you be able to go to my house if I build by myself without being an engineer? And they say, I don't think so, because it won't have the basic, to be strong enough to be sure to go to be inside within. I always says that because for transformation and projects, you need to know the basics and the best practices. The best practices are simple, but you need to follow them. And when we are talking transformation, we need to be disciplined in order to do the transformation in a proper way. There is something that everything begins with. If you want to transform, Craig, you need to be sure of what is that you want to transform. Here are a list, and I want to read it. For example, if you want to transform, you have to know the intention of transforming. For example, what do you want to create or anticipate the future, or to deal with the co-evolution of the processes or the organization that you are with, or new technology to create competencies to identify or new sources of power. What do you want to do? What do you want to do that is telling you need to transform? In summary, what you need to know is exactly what is that you want to earn, what you want to get, what is the value that you want to get. That is the principle of everything. So once you know exactly what is that you want to know or what is that you want to get, then you organize everything in order, all the practices and everything in order to get that. But there is something you say people transformation. You cannot transform anything. You cannot get anything if you don't have the right people to do that. And sometimes we forget that the people are the one who change it. People are composed by the organizations are composed by people. If we don't change mindset here, if I as an employee or I as an owner don't want to change and to evolve into a better person and to evolve my organization into a better organization, there is no sense of nothing that we do. So it's a mix of things. It's a mix of abilities. It's a mix of best practices. In the PMI, in the Project Management Institute, I don't know if you have heard about that, but this is the institution that we our approach in project management is through the PMI, and they always say that we need to understand like the uh, talent triangle, that it has the business acumen, to know the industry. You need to have the know-how, how to do things, the methodology, but you need to have power skills, how to do that. So it's a mix of these things. If there is something that you don't have, it will be like it won't be so smooth. But the power skills that are, I believe that that is the most important issue of or aspect of every transformation. Those are the power skills. Those are the ones that allows you to work with people. And there, within the power skills, I always remember people in your organization, in your house, in your community. You have a culture. If you don't understand that culture, it will be difficult to implement anything that you want. And within that culture, now you have several generations. For example, Generation Z, Generation Boom, Generation X, Generation, the other one, the Millennials. And all of that are together within the culture, the organizational culture that you have. You need to understand that, and to understand which are the implications, which are the characteristics of every one of those cultures and every one of those generations. Understand that, and then plan how to do the change. How you are going to, which are the practices that you are going to be implementing.
What I heard you
Oh,
say
I'm sorry.
was you use PMI practices, Project Management Institute practices, and they talk about the talent triangle. And the talent triangle, if I heard you correctly, there's business acumen, knowledge, and power skills. And I love how you drilled down on power skills as arguably the most important, especially for a people-centered transformation, because it doesn't matter how much business acumen or knowledge we have if we don't do well with those power skills, the application within our culture across generations in the context of the change, then it's going to fail or not be as successful. And it all starts with mindset. It all starts with, why do we want to change, and getting everybody on the same page as to why we're seeking to change now. Did I get that
And there
right?
is a other thing, Craig. Yeah, and there is other thing that now that you are talking, and I reminded. The change cannot be just, for example, I am a consultant, and you are a consultant too. The change cannot be done only with us. We go and we facilitate this, the process. But if the change doesn't come from the inside, from the within the company or the organization, we will have problems too, because we are not the ones who knows the company. We are outsiders that helps only with the process. So the change should come from within the company. The people needs to be. That's why we call that people-centered transformation, because it's with the people that we work with.
Have you ever encountered, I suspect you have, a situation where the people are ready to change, but the leaders are not?
Of course,
And if so, what do you do? Do you stop?
a lot of time. Well, let me tell you, there are some process that you need to say, okay, if if this is not working, no, let me go back. You know what I have done when I see that there is a problem at the upper level? I sit down with the people who hire me, right? And I said, okay, this is not working because of this and this and this. These are the options. But what we also can do is to organize this at this level, and you will be getting, because if you are organized at the level, you will be like installing like an example, because since in that unit will work and will work well. Of course, to have a complete transformation, you need to have the upper level. That's definitely a truth. You need to have at the upper level executive on site. And anytime I go to sell one of my services, that is the first thing that I tell the customer. If the upper level is not, is not buying the idea, just leave that, because you will be wasting your money. I would like to gain my, to earn my money, of course. I live of this, but it's not it doesn't feel comfortable for us as a consultant. I know that you understand me very well. It doesn't feel comfortable that you pay me my money, perfect, I did everything that we decided, and that I sold you, but then you don't use what I'm selling you. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't feel right.
Sure. You're paying me to deliver the change, not to deliver a project. And I appreciate your courage as a business owner to say, you're not ready. And until you're ready, don't hire me. When you're ready, I'll help you facilitate that change. So
You know what happened the other day?
tell me,
And I'm sorry to interrupt you. I went to a customer, and they wanted a strategic planning. And when we talk, I said, but you, you don't need the strategic planning. So I'm gonna put you in contact with some of my colleagues that might give you another type of service that you need. And you know what happened, Craig? They
what
told
happened?
me, "Oh, no, okay, you handle that, you manage that project."
Okay. Did you?
So I didn't lose the customer. I was going to tell them, to the colleagues, to go directly to them, and they, no, 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 no. We just want you, and they did not know me. They said, no, 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 no. You will create the project, and you will tell us what to do. So we need to
It
be
worked.
honest with our clients.
We do. We absolutely do. Marisol, I want to go back to the beginning. You started out by saying it's not always easy to own your own business. You need to be resilient. You need to be persistent. Why did you say that?
Oh, because as you may imagine, for example, now I just have my kids grown up. I have a grandson also.
Congratulations.
But yeah, thank you. But when I was young, I had my three kids in school, very expensive one, in universities. Not all the time you have enough money, because customers are okay. One time, one season you have a very good projects, but then another season you don't have enough money. So you need to be, first of all, you cannot be, um, you need to be passionate about what you do. That's that's the main. You need to like what you are doing. you know you need to be sure that what you are doing in your company is what you want to do for the rest of your life. Because if not, it will get, once the you don't have, for example, one customer, and then the money is little, then you get disappointed, and then you leave. No. But if you like what you are doing, and you have a purpose on that, you will keep doing, and you will keep going through. If for example, in my case, sometimes I needed to be an employee, and in the morning very early I work in my company, and in the night, and on Saturdays in the morning, and Saturdays morning. But then I needed to go to be an employee, because sometimes the money was not enough. But I never left my company, because I like my company, and I still like it.
So there's the persistence part. You are persistent throughout and you're resilient through the tough times because you're passionate about the work that you do, about the change that you're facilitating, and about the people centered transformations that you've been able to bring about. Marisol, it
Yeah.
sounds like you've made a very big impact on not only with your customers, but in the market that you've adopted in the Dominican Republic, where you started out in a telecommunications company and then moved on to having a bigger impact across many companies with many people, and people that I'm sure have referred you to others and hired you back. If anybody listening to this call would like to talk to you some more, perhaps hear about working in the Dominican Republic, or maybe even hire you for some of that wisdom that you bring with Sagesse, how can they get in touch with you?
Maybe in New Jersey también. Remember that I am located now in New Jersey, but I work remotely with my customer. I'm all the time going through from New Jersey to Dominican from New Jersey. You have my, they can, I have, just need to put my name with Sagesse in the webpage, or maybe you can go to my Marisol Marion-Landais.us too. So, or my LinkedIn, you put my whole name, and there you will have my phone numbers from Dominican, from US, my emails, all my emails, my LinkedIn address, everything. Everything is, of course, not my home, my business information. It's very, very clear. And anyone who can help me, I always tell my customers something. If you, and maybe you cannot hire me, it's okay. If you have a doubt, you call me, because I will be honest with you, and I will tell you if I can give you an advice, I will. Because this is a matter, Craig. Remember, this is a matter of service. Not everything is about money. Not everything is about money. It's about helping people. And as long as we help each other, the world will be much, much better.
I think that's an excellent sentiment to end this podcast. It's about service, it's about helping others, and it'll make the world a better place. Marisol, it's been a pleasure. I'll include all of your contact information below this podcast episode in the notes, and people will be able to get in touch with you. I've really enjoyed speaking with you today. I also enjoyed when you mentioned New Jersey, you said New Jersey también. So that means also for those who don't habla español. All right. Thank you, Marisol. It was a pleasure speaking with you today. Hasta luego.
Same to you, Craig.
Okay.
Hasta luego. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Gracias.